Alrighty guys, so this is a 2022 Ford Escape SEL front wheel drive. This is Ford's crossover SUV that you see a bunch of on the road. This one costs just under $33,000, and I'm going to be bringing you a review today and walking you through the interior, exterior, and the driving experience of the Ford Escape. So let's hop right into the video. Now, starting on the exterior of the Ford Escape, in star white metallic and has a nice glisten to it in the sun. You have halogen headlights right here with this LED daytime running light. You also have this gloss black grille right here with chrome surrounds. Of course, the Escape now I think kind of looks like a Porsche Macan ever since it was updated in 2021, which I think is a good thing. Who doesn't like that car? You have these 18-inch rims right here, which I think are pretty good looking. Now, the titanium rims do get bigger and they look a little better, but personally, I wouldn't have any problems with this one. More chrome around the windows right here. The exterior of this car really isn't anything exciting or crazy to look at, though it is a good looking crossover. Back here, you do have LED taillights. And something I like how they did is how they displayed the name of the Escape under the Ford badge like this. It's much better than it used to look on the older models. Of course, you have dual exhaust tips right here leading back to that 1.5 liter inline 3. It's a little overkill, but now you do have an auto tailgate. If you get lower trim levels, you will not have one, but this one has an auto tailgate. With the second row folded down, you get 65.4 cubic feet of space, and with the second row up, you get 37.5 cubic feet of space. You also have these 12-volt sockets back here for plugging stuff in and some storage space. And under here is where you have your spare tire, a funnel for fluids and everything like that. You have these hooks right here, of course, as well. Of course, you can shut that using a button. But yeah, as for the exterior as a whole, it's a good looking car. I think it doesn't necessarily reflect what's under the hood with the exhaust pipes, but on the exterior, it's a good looking crossover. So under the hood, this is a 1.5 liter inline 3 that makes 181 horsepower and 190 pound-feet of torque, and it's mated to an 8-speed automatic transmission, and this one is front-wheel drive. Now, you can get a 2-liter EcoBoost or a 2.5 liter inline 4 hybrid, and that 2-liter EcoBoost can have all-wheel drive just in case you need an Escape for, snowy or wet conditions. But for this one, just driving around the city, it's not bad. It's not necessarily peppy or fast, but it gets the job done. All right, now moving on into the interior of the Ford Escape. The first thing I actually want to start off with is the safety features on this SEL. This one has come equipped with adaptive cruise control, lane keep assist, lane centering assist, blind spot monitoring, and that's all part of that Ford Copilot 360 package group right there. But for an SEL in a car that only costs $33,000, that is pretty nice to have. The car is generally comfortable and the materials in here are good. You have soft touch materials basically everywhere you're going to touch. You have an 8-inch screen right here running Sync 3, good operating system, dual zone climate control right here, heated seats, and this one has a heated steering wheel. Down here you have a 12-volt socket, a USB Type A and a USB Type C. Right here's where you have your drive modes, your auto stop start switch, and this one also has auto hold just in case you don't want to keep your foot on the brake at stoplights. Now we can go through the drive modes right now, actually. Let's start up the car. All right, now as for drive modes, we're going to have normal, eco, sport, slippery, and deep snow and sand. I don't know when you're going to be taking your Ford Escape that's front-wheel drive through deep snow and sand, but that is an option if you care about that. Preferably normal or eco would be the correct drive mode for this vehicle. You have your rotary dial for your gears down here, and of course low range mode just in case you want to use that. The front seats of this vehicle are a very, very nice place to be. Center console space is good, though you don't have any connectivity in here. You have a little place to hold your pen if you care about doing that. And your glove box is a pretty good size, but it could be a little better. I think if they added some sort of, organization in there, it would be a little better, but it kind of feels like if you stuff stuff in there, it's just going to fall and be a big, big mess. But the front seats, otherwise, are a good place to be. All right, now moving on to the rear seats of the Ford Escape. Overall, great knee room, great headroom for a crossover, and you can move these seats front and back, and they do tilt at a pretty good angle here. You can lay them back decently far enough and fold them forward. Of course, right here you have cup holders, the center armrest in the back seat storage right here. The interior of this is sandstone mixed with that black leather, and it does look really good. You know, with the car being white on the outside, I think it's a good color combination. You do have air vents back here, that way your rear seat passengers don't get too cold or hot. USB type A and a USB type C down there. The space in the back of this Escape is really good, and the seats are generally comfortable. You could definitely be in this car for a long ride without any issues. Alrighty, so driving the Ford Escape, and like I said, this one has the 1.5 liter inline 3, which is not necessarily a super peppy engine, but who cares? I mean, this is probably one of the weakest engines Ford offers in any of their vehicles, but still, I don't think that should scare typical people away. Now, I think this is one of the least powerful engines Ford offers in any of their vehicles, but that doesn't mean it can't get the job done that it's supposed to get done. In the Escape, it's fine, and even with my foot at half throttle, it gets up to speed quick enough. And because our car feels like they need to pull out in front of me, I just tested the brakes, and those are fine too, so no worries. You'll be able to slow down from 50 miles an hour to 30 without any issues at all. Now, as for visibility and comfortability, everything like that, just daily driving stuff, the car is easy to drive, just ridiculously easy to drive. As any crossover should be. You shouldn't have to think about driving one of these. It should just happen. And you should be doing it with as much creature comforts as possible for the best price possible. And I think $33,000 is a justifiable price for this car for what you are getting. Now, I've driven them with the 2-liter EcoBoost, and they are a lot more peppy and they're a lot faster, especially with the all-wheel drive system or the intelligent 4-wheel drive system that you can get in these cars. And if you go and get like a technology package or the titanium, you do get the digital gauge cluster. There are higher specifications for the Ford Escape, but the SEL isn't bad. I think the only thing I'd want is the digital gauge cluster, which can be solved by either getting a titanium or something like that. It's not too tough to get one of those, and it's not necessarily that much more expensive than this is. I believe a normal titanium without being a hybrid is just around $36,000, and comes with a lot of these options from the factory, so it is nice. And this 8-speed automatic transmission is also very responsive and smooth, and it's not going to interrupt your driving. You won't feel like you're being jolted forward or backward. It's perfectly fine. And you could do a little acceleration test right here. Yeah, definitely not fast. I mean, it feels better than a naturally aspirated 2-liter Ford Focus, but still not very fast. 181 horsepower is healthy enough for this vehicle. So yeah, it drives really well. You don't have to put much effort into it. The seats are comfortable. You could drive from here to California, which is a 4-hour road trip back and forth, decently easy without having any problems. I had a Ford Escape and I did it and it was fine. So yeah, overall, great car to drive. But as for gas mileage, before I forget about that, this gets 30 miles per gallon combined, 28 in the city and 34 on the highway. 28 in the city is actually pretty impressive. And that's for the non-hybrid one. 28 in the city I think is pretty impressive. 34 on the highway is pretty good as well, and 30 combined overall is a good thing. Now this car is like brand new, so right now it's reading 14 miles per gallon because all I've been doing is driving the city, and I have a lead foot, so it's a little different, but over time you should see that 30 mile per gallon average starting to pop up. And that is the 2022 Ford Escape SEL front-wheel drive with the 1.5 liter inline 3. Overall, I think it is a good practical, and well-loaded crossover SUV for its price. And you know, if I was in the market for one of these, an Escape would definitely be on the list. So remember, if you did like the video, make sure you hit that like button down below. And if you want to see more from us, make sure you subscribe. And I will see you all in the next video.